Welcome back. We're here to cover the Divine Masculine update for the new year. For those of you that don't know, I'm Yildiz from Yildiz Readings, psychic medium. I cover the astrology as well as how to navigate your twin flame path. Now, if you do want to join our website, you can actually download the app and get all the updates, as well as join our Sage Inner Circle network to actually join up with the membership. And yes, we do have a twin flame room, so if that's something you're interested in, the links are directly below. Now, this week in the mix does look pretty interesting for the Divine Masculine. As we are moving into this new year, we are moving into new chapters and some big revelations I directly see they're having through some revelations. Now, these are the big questions about who they are and where they are going. The new you, really trying to sum that up, really trying to work out what direction they're going to be moving in. One thing I'm really seeing, especially from this crowning energy, especially because I do actually intuitively read due to the fact I'm a psychic medium, is that this individual almost feels like their old life they no longer fit into. And that can be a metaphor, especially because we are going to be having, by the 4th, I believe, a full moon in Cancer. This cloak energetically in the crowning energy, what I'm seeing is this revelation and thought process about what they're wearing and who they were last year, especially because it was a 9 vibration and the card drops down to a 9, and where they're going now, the sun, the identity, the direction, and who that new vibration of them is. So I think it's something that is very heavily on their mind, that they're no longer fitting that old version of themselves. They've done a lot of spiritual work internally, and this can be a tipping point for them energetically to really shift into this bold new action. And we do see this coming through in the crowning energy. Now, in the context of the past, especially, there was a very stuck energy, and I do believe this was due to the spiritual ascension nature of 2025. We see this card where it came to passed over loved ones, energies of the past, facing the shadow. That shadow work was quite profound. And although in some of it they may feel not everything has been completely dealt with, and I think that's for all of us. It does end up being a process we're moving through in our life. There are some things, regardless of closure, we do need to move on, needing to trust our instincts, having to go with the flow, but really having this shake up that where they stood prior is not where they are standing right now. So there is a sense of urgency. There is a sense that their need to actually make some change, could be absolutely necessary, or some things that were in the hangman position are coming up so that they can actually liberate themselves. And it was quite interesting. Last month, energetically, I really did feel in the month of December, with Mercury going shadow direct, the lunation cycles, we were in that recovery mode. And it's almost like I did feel towards the mid-month into the end of the month, there was a bit of a spiritual test initially, and I feel that was before Christmas and New Year's. It did feel as though individuals were having to go through things singularly. There were some challenges there that can be on divine feminine side, divine masculine side, not necessarily to hinder you, but rather to bring things to a head, but also to have the courage to actually deal with these challenges, to get to that holding space. And this is going to be an extremely busy year, so we do need to really hold on to our hats here. Now, I think that really looking at these cards, I am seeing there is a potential here. Something that was unfinished business is coming up in January, the beginning of the month. And I do think this is to do with the past. This could be to do with the karmic cycle. And I really do feel it is to do with the karmic cycle. It is letting go of a karmic cycle, revelations, things coming to the surface, but they're actually dealing with it in a karma kind of frequency. They're dealing with it more in a internalization, with a fine-tooth comb. It's almost like it's going to be liberating them. I'm hearing the term what goes around comes around. And And I do feel, in a way, they are trying to trust the universe that those that they care for will be protected, and that where they are going and what they are wanting to create in life is this unity consciousness. I do feel there's going to be a celebration. It's almost like whatever this breakthrough is, it's actually bringing this excitement to this individual, and there could be some communication that comes in. They do feel the divine feminine has very much evolved, but there's something that they're wanting to celebrate with this individual. It's almost like in their dream state. They picture the end goal. They picture the other side of things, and want, you being the first person they're wanting to come towards to celebrate with. Now, there is the death of an old cycle. This has been something, and I do feel this is the karmic cycle again. There has been such a delay where it did come to the karmic cycles, especially within divine masculine's life. This could have been at a very personal level. It might have been really reassessing the mother energy, the home, the lineage. Could have been karmic partners, cycles, tribe energy. I feel that again has made them at times feel there's been a lot of sacrifice, not necessarily equal give and take. And, you know, I'm going to pull a clarifier on the next card because that looks a bit like it's ready to pop. I do feel there could be a conflict with a particular individual where something comes to a head. Wherever this blockage has been formed, this spiritual test that they were directly trying to assess last year, more so towards the end of the last 4 months, I think it really piped up. I'm getting this frequency. This is a face off. This is a face off between two individuals. There could be a bit of backlash for it, but I do feel it's bringing the tower down. This person may go into a bit of disillusionment. But it's funny, it's almost like it's not necessarily that they lose their faith. It's more that they're realizing they have hands and they can address these things. Let's pull some clarifiers. There's two key areas here I'm getting, and it is both at the bottom row, although we may go into clarifying at the top. We'll start again from the top and we're going to work back down. But one instinctual feeling I'm having with this blockage and this excitement, this desiring to actually move towards the divine feminine, some exciting story, some breakthrough. I feel at a foundation level, what's good for one person is not necessarily good for another. So whatever this karmic closes, if everything was above board, I feel both parties can smoothly transition to the other side. But for a pocket group, I'm actually feeling there's a real angry individual here in the mix that has actually maybe been quite deceitful and not quite getting what they wanted. So there is a bit of anger and angst happening here. We're going to move back to the top and we're going to pause for a moment and see if there's any additional messages. Okay, I do feel divine masculine was having the courage to deal with this in a different way. The other thing they're showing me is there was a pause and a delay. It was almost like pressing the play button, sitting there, pausing, reflecting upon it last year. This was the courage to have the truth that was going to show who this person's true colors were, what the defining energy would be, and information of the past that was hidden. And I'm definitely seeing from the second row here, from the past into the heart of the matter, this is about a karmic and a masculine. And this is about in the separation phase. And for some of them, it could have been a few separation phases. What was actually going down? They're going to see moving forward that there was a reason it had to happen in this way, and something is actually coming to an end, which is opening up the gate for the counterpart energy. Where there was a delay, I feel it was to do with guilt. I do feel a lot of processing is being done last year. This also was hindering them actually rebuilding. Every time they felt that they were getting to that door, getting to that gate, there was something actually pulling them back, and it was actually making them feel worse off than they were in the first place. Okay, where is this face off? Who is this face off occurring between, please? Because I don't think it's necessarily for every single group of twins, but I am getting there is one particular energy. Okay, they're actually showing me a time frame. Oh, okay, this actually was activated during Christmas, New Year's, they're referencing. For some of them, they had hoped it was addressed prior to that. Some of them might have taken steps. The person that this involves was maybe getting some information. This could have been coming through the grapevine or directly from the horse's mouth. For some, it was an email or text message. This is surprising this person. This is putting this individual under the spotlight. I was going to say spectacle, and then they showed me spotlight. It's like there's probing to get more information. They may feel quite cursed in the mix of this. I do feel they may have some alliances that have aided them with this information, and they're waiting on an outcome. Internally, they know the answer. That's what they're saying. They know the answer, and they knew they had to follow through. And this is actually going to liberate them, although they may be concerned about wealth. They're saying that things are going to work out, and there is going to be a severing of a contract here. And that although this individual on the opposite side of the spectrum is trying to say, hey, we can actually work this out, Divine Masculine is looking at it like twos company, threes are crowd. And, you know, I feel even the Divine Feminine is seeing this situation in the same fashion. And that caused a great deal of angst. I do feel there could be three individuals that are actually quite shady. But I do feel Divine Masculine is very protected because they're actually thinking this through. I feel this is going to go in the Divine Masculine's outcome and favour. I do feel this pause is actually causing some big questions, and a new you is coming through for the Divine Masculine. Let's take a look at what we have on offer on the website. A lot is changing. We do have a Sage Inner Circle Network landing page. If you do want to sign up to be joining in, you can actually find all the information directly below, as well as we do have an app that you can download for our websites. Come through and join. Otherwise, I will see you next week for your Twin Flame updates.